pinch me in a little bit so I won't be so far away. I want you guys to really be able to get into all of this
like that?
today. They're cracking down on you girls.
Like that?
That's great. It's actually good. It's good stuff. Hi guys. Hello. I am going to be done with these braids after today. I am over it.com.boots. I'm over it. Over it. No, I'm not finished with my intro. This is a little Michael McDonald. No mountain high enough, no valley low enough to keep Rob from getting these loans closed. What?
That's right. That's right.
Rob says he has the bubble guts. He can't even eat until 4 o'clock. I have him so stressed out. Every file just has something. It's just gotta be something on the ones and twos. But we're jamming on the one. At least I am over here. And I don't care who doesn't sleep. I don't care who doesn't sleep. Get it to the table. We're gonna get it to the table. So today, we'll bring it down a touch. I am going to share with you guys some bad news, but bad news, and it's some things we have to work around, and I think it's important that we know the information. When you have the right information, guess what? You can be in the business of solutions, and that's what I do. I like to solve the problem. I don't want to focus on the problem. Let's focus on the solution. So just in, FHA is tightening up on you girls and guys. So for all of you who were, I'm going to wait until next year. We had a client that qualified with yesterday, and they said they wanted to wait until next May to buy.
May.
It's May of 2019. The world might not even have a job next year. You better sit down somewhere and go get you a house while you can. And the reason I say that is because people think that everything lasts forever. It doesn't. Guidelines change every day, and they make adjustments based on behavior. So this just in, FHA, now, if you purchase another home, if you get another house and you want to purchase it and you don't want to sell the home that you're in, you want to keep that as an investment property, you now have to have 25% in equity in that home. You have to get an appraisal for it. 25% equity, or you have to move 100 miles away from the home. So if you're in the city of Atlanta and you want to buy something in DeKalb, it's not 100 miles. You're going to almost have to move to Lake Oconee in order to be able to qualify for that. Is that even 100 miles away? Is Lake Oconee 100? No, Lake Oconee. Lake Oconee wouldn't even qualify. Probably, but it has to be 100 miles. So that being said, that debt ratio has to make sense. So that means that you're going to have to be able to qualify if you don't have 25% equity for both mortgages. That's difficult for most people to do on paper. They're not going to count the rent for that property, even though it's leased out. We were able to do that for the past 6-7 years. They've tightened up, they're seeing some defaults, and when they start seeing defaults, they start making adjustments on what programs they're gonna allow for you to have without the overlay. So we have a product right now, 580 credit score is the minimum. When I said that we can get you done with a 580 credit score, we can't, but there's overlays, and these overlays are getting rigid, they're getting stricter. So if you can qualify now, you need to find yourself in a position to get ready to buy, because in the next 6 months, we probably won't be able to get you done at a 580 anymore. You're gonna have to have closer to a 660. So one takeaway from today is the overlay for a existing property. So if you own a property and you want to purchase up, you're going to have to be able to qualify for both of those mortgages if that home does not have 25% equity. Oh, hi, getting in on this, Steve? Oh, come on, get out.
Sorry.
I've got to do everything around here. I've got to, yeah. It's bloopers right here today. I love it. So anyway, he's running because we got a file, client under contract, underwriter stipulation. Oh, where's the appraisal for the house? We didn't need one before. Just did. This is the only way we knew about it. They don't send you out a notification. You don't know until you know. So when we know better, we do better. So I want you guys who are interested in purchasing up, if your property does not have 25% equity in it, we're going to have to look at some ways to get you qualified. If you want to keep this as a rental, we either need to show more income, or you're going to have to get that credit score up, because if the credit score is higher, we have a lot more flexibility, okay? So that's our first takeaway from today. Let's look at where you are in your existing home. If you have equity, let's start looking at something if you have 25%, because it's to your best interest to keep the property and keep it as an investment property, income producing property, if it's in an area that's growing. That's an investment property for you that you're not going to have to put more money as a down payment. But if you can't qualify for the home without doing that, then we are going to have to get that property sold. Second negative for today. If you have an NSF, any NSFs in your last 2 months bank statement, so if you get paid on Friday, but you wrote a hot check on Thursday, You thought the bank was gonna cover it and they didn't. It's gonna be a problem for you. It's gonna be a problem. That little hot check is gonna get you in hot water. So what happens is now, not 2 months of bank statements will be required. We're now gonna be required to show 6 months of bank statements, and you're going to have to show why this happened. You're going to have a very good explanation if you have a 580 credit score. So if you have a 580 credit score, the rule for 2 months bank statements, you cannot have one NSF. Not one. Not two, one. Can't have one. So, oh my God, I didn't get paid on time. It was a Saturday. Listen, it happens. Happens to the best of us. I know. It's a whole nother lie. Oh, we don't want to go down that road. Anywho, long story short, shorter story longer, let's just make sure that when you're getting ready and you're preparing to purchase a home, we're going to have to be ready on paper, and we have to look good on paper. We're going to have to be buttoned up, okay, guys? So button it up and tighten it up. Make sure we're showing the reserves that we need, and make sure that you don't have any negative transactions on your bank statement. The next DTI. So one of my clients, entrepreneurs of content, we have our call today, and I'm going to do this just for you. So this is how you calculate debt ratio. So when I say DTI, that's your debt to income ratio. Most people have no idea what I'm talking about, and it sounds like Chinese, like a language you don't know. Not true. It's one of the easiest formulas. I'm going to show it to you today, and this is how you can have a pretty broad stroke, but narrow down on the number as to how much home you can qualify for with all of your, without getting your credit pulled. This is something that you can do an easy calculation for yourself. If you do this calculation for yourself, then you know you don't need to be looking at homes that are the 300,000 or 400,000 if you only qualify for 200,000, and we can calculate that very easily by knowing what the debt ratio is. So the DTI now, if you have a credit score of 660 or less, is now 50%. Cannot go higher than 50%. It can't be 50.1%. It has to be 50% or less. And what does this look like? So you make $60,000 a year. You divide that by 12. That's $5,000 a month. Multiply that by 0.50. That's $2,500. All of your bills, including the new mortgage. Huh? I'm backwards?
Mm-hmm.
How's this? How's it backwards?
Look at what you wrote.
What am I doing?
It's showing you.
How's it flipped wrong?
Sorry.
How can I do it different?
You can't.
I can't do it different. So you guys follow along and stretch out your screen later. I can't do it any other way. So come on in. So 60,000, divide that by 12, $55,000, multiply that by 0.50, we're looking at $2,500. So what that means is if you have a student loan payment of $300, you have a car payment of $300, you have credit card bills of $150, that's going to be $750, minus the $2,500 is going to leave you with $1,750. At $1,750, that's going to be a house of about $270,000, Rob? About $270,000, $1,750 payment?
Yes.
About $275,000?
Yes.
So about $275,000. So depending on the taxes and the insurance, that's what that number is going to look like. So just for the sake of this live, and so you have a clear understanding, just take your income. That is your income on your W-2. So if you're self-employed, we're going to need to dig a little bit deeper, but this will give you a broad stroke. If you're W-2, this is an easy formula for you. And if not more than what percentage for sales? If they're in a sales position, how much, not more than how much, 25% of their income for sales people?
Correct.
For sales.
Commission, yeah.
Commission,
bonus,
so not
yeah.
more than 25%.
That's right.
So if more than 25% of your income, if you're in sales, comes from sales, then they're going to need to see the tax returns, okay? So if you have a W-2 and you're in sales, no more than 25% of your income, you have to have a pretty substantial base pay in order for you to be able to use this as your formula without getting into the tax return, okay? So for the sake of the live, keep it simple. This is simple math. Your income on your W-2 from 2018, divide that number by 12, multiply that by 0.50. That's the maximum debt ratio you can have, and that is your new house payment and all of your other bills that are showing on your credit report. We don't care about your cell phone bill. We don't care about your gym membership. As long as it's not reported on your credit, those are the only numbers we're going to be backing out of that back end number. So These are the overlays. This is the guideline. These are the changes that have come down the pipeline. That number used to be closer to about 0.57. So this is a difference. 7% is a huge difference when we're talking about the difference between being in the neighborhood that you want versus the neighborhood you have to sacrifice for. So let's get that credit score up over 660. That's going to be your best option. But if you can't get the score up, we need to make sure that we get the debt ratio in line. It needs to be 50% or less. No NSFs in the past 2 months, and if you have an existing property and you want to buy a property, we need to look at what it can appraise for now based on the market, so that doesn't come into the equation when you get into the underwriting process, okay? So love you guys, mean it. Have an amazing weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I hope you guys do something this week to make yourself proud. We are going to end out May with a bang. We're going to have record-breaking numbers over here at the slide team. Rob's not going to be sleeping to get some of these deals done. That's his job. That's his job. It's this job. My job is to go hunt and fish, and his is to scale that fish and cook it. So I don't care. I don't care about these. I don't care about these guidelines. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Everybody get it fixed. So I love you guys. Mean it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Text approve me to 888-111 and let's get you credit qualified. Let's get you on a plan. We're not waiting until next May to close on a house, honey. That neighborhood is going to be $20,000, $30,000 more. Let's go ahead and get you in the pipeline and go ahead and build so you can get that rate locked in. Love you, mean it. Bye. I like your shoes, Angie.
Thank you.
I'm gonna match my outfit
So
today.
dirty.
They're cute though. I just got on cute shoes. And so do I. Begging for compliments, as per usual. I'm done. Let's
You done?
yeah,
Okay.
sign off.
All right. Bye.
Bing.